In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Marianne's guests are leaders in their field, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in their own work. They teach others to develop, refocus, and grow. Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. And remember, make every moment count.
Welcome to Moments with Marianne. I would like to take this moment and just thank all of you for tuning in today. And just want to do a little shout out here before we get started. We have a very exciting guest just ahead. But I'd like to talk and just remind you guys of Dan Berlin of Team C Possibilities. He's going to be running the Boston Marathon this year. What makes Dan a little bit, I think special in my book is that he is a blind endurance runner. So he has a team of people that will be running with him to go ahead and complete the Boston Marathon. So Dan's going to be there. Make sure to drop by and say hi to him. He was on our show a few months ago. And he's also raising money from this run for the Boston Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. So you can learn more about Dan and the run he's doing and how you can get involved in donating to Team C Possibilities, which will go to the Massachusetts Association for the Blind. And that's at teamcpossibilities.com. So this evening we'll be talking with our very special guest. She's a CEO of Women of Denver, a marketing, brand, and art of influence expert. Her name is Krystal Covington. So Krystal's been featured in Fast Company, Jobber Tech Talk, WGU Blog, and just to name a few. So welcome to the show, Krystal.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here, Marianne. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. I was pretty excited because you are like the go-to person, but you have a pretty remarkable story, so from kind of, you were an introvert who transformed to becoming this networking queen.
I absolutely did. I don't think introversion ever goes away. It's a personality trait for life, but I definitely have learned to adapt in life and use it as a strength versus something that I felt in the past had held me back.
So how were you able to make that transition?
Oh, gosh. So the story starts back when I first realized that it was a problem. I remember the biggest one, and there were things beforehand, but it never really conked into my head what was going on until my husband and I, we were going to our premarital counseling, and the pastor comes to us and has us take a personality test. And after the test, my husband has this big aha, because the test revealed that I was a complete introvert, top of the charts introvert, and he was a top of the charts extrovert. So we're complete opposites. Mm-hmm. And so his aha moment was, oh, my goodness, this is why people feel, when I introduce you to people, they feel like your personality leaves the building. And it's true. I was myself. I was awesome when I was in front of him, but then as soon as he would bring me around other people, I would shell up. I was like a little clam. I would go back in my shell and was very uncomfortable. And I realized, oh, my gosh, this is affecting our social life. And this is something that I need to really work on. Mm-hmm. So I went on a path. I asked him to teach me everything that he knew I was doing that I could work on. And then the rest was books, the charisma myth, how to win friends and influence people, mm-hmm. and just being really mechanical with it and saying, okay, well, I'm going to try to look people in the eyes more today, or I'm going to ask people how they're doing, and wait and listen.
Well, and for somebody that, there's a lot of people that are introverts, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're looking to get out into the limelight, that can be kind of an issue. And making that transition, I mean, that was pretty brave. And, I'm lucky enough to know both you and your husband personally. And he really lights up a room when he gets into it. But, so do you.
He absolutely does. But his is 100% natural. Mine is practice. I don't know if there's a difference at this point between practice and natural, but he's got a lot more stamina for social engagement. I mean, he can go for days.
It's probably something that feeds his soul is why, It's just, he's just right. It's like being the cat's meow. Can't get any better than that. Well, I know you wrote a book, and the book is to go along with a workshop that you're doing. But you wrote this book. It's called The 4 Keys to Influence, and in it you talk about things that we don't even think about that really jeopardize our ability to show up, as a powerhouse, as opposed to a house that has no power. So, why don't you explain a few of those for our listeners?
Yeah, so the 4 Keys to Influence, I started teaching workshops because I realized I was onto something here with the things that I had learned myself, and people started asking me to teach it to them. The most engaging one, somebody actually told me that, she said, Krystal, I feel like your story is that you went from lamb to bam. She said, so I need you to teach me how to do that. Take me from lamb to bam. So I put it all into a workshop, started teaching it here in Colorado. I was giving people these one-sheeters to fill out, and it just wasn't enough. They weren't getting enough from that, so I actually turned it into a real workbook and started distributing the workbook that way, and got that published online. So the workbook gives people the tools to understand the 4 major keys that I've broken down. And the first and most important one is your presence. That's one of the things I've spent most of my time on, is basically learning how to look like a boss. No matter what you're trying to do, being able to look the part gets you in the door. So whether you're trying to get a job, you're trying to get a sale, you want somebody to like you, you just have to show up very confidently and look like the person that they want to fill that role in their life. The second one is your authority. So building authority is basically your resume. So whatever it is, if you're an artist, just having the ability to say, I've been seen at these 4 art shows, or I have art that's showing in this gallery. Or if you're looking to make friends with somebody, authority would literally be, I have this friend and you like this person, so why don't you be friends with me as well? So it works for anything that you're looking for. And then I like to put the last 2 into one, so they're visibility and consistency. Being consistently visible, that is where the power is at. It creates trust. It makes people like you, and there's tons of studies that show that when somebody's around a lot, people like them more. So let's say that you're an apartment community, and one person has an apartment right by the front door, and they often sit outside on their front porch. And that person is going to be, if somebody tested everybody in the apartment community and said, who do you like the most? The person with the front door apartment is going to be the one that gets the most votes for likable. And it's simply because people see them the most. It is the funniest thing, but it's very real. So that consistent visibility is very important as well. And so let's say you're looking for a corporate career, you want to move up, being in front of the people who make the hiring decisions as much as possible and in a way that shows your capabilities is definitely the way to go, and it will get you get you more opportunities faster.
Well, and all those principles, and there's a few questions I have here. We'll go back to that in a minute here, but all those principles really position somebody to really be a key influencer in their own line of work. So it could be if they're marketing, if they're just looking for a job, like you were saying, or looking to maybe improve the brand that they have for their business or services. You know, being where someone sees you all the time, you can engage with them is a lot easier than someone that's, not available. So So it makes it much, much easier. So one of the things that you talked about were like nonverbal communication and how that plays a role in how people see us. So why don't you break that down a little bit for us?
Nonverbal is really the most important thing to master. I would say that your nonverbal communication is more important than what you have to say or what you know. So if it came down to, I would never say don't try to be smart or don't know what you're doing. You need to know what you're doing. But I would say that having the powerful presence, being able to master your nonverbal is more important than anything else. It's the most important thing. And that's because they say about 60 or 70%, which is the majority of what people are taking in. And I've seen some people say even up to 90% of what people take in from you when they're talking with you is your nonverbal communication. That's the tone of your voice, the way that you move, the way that you position yourself. All of that stuff is just more potent in our brains than what you're saying or what you're communicating. So, for example, one of the things that I like to tell people to make sure they do is that when you are making a statement, in order to look like you know what you're talking about, to look like people should believe and trust in you, you have to make sure that you are open in your body language. If you're closing yourself off, it shows that you may not be trustworthy. It shows that you might be someone that's not confident in what you're saying, or that you're downright making it up. So keeping your hands out, keeping your body open, making sure that you're facing the person that you're talking with, that gives them the connection to you and also makes you appear more trustworthy and more confident in what you're saying.
You know, on that point, when someone makes eye contact with me and they don't have their arms crossed and they look like they're just going to ball up, it's a lot easier to engage and talk with somebody, you know, and that's probably one of the first things I notice when I'm speaking with somebody is if they're making eye contact and are their arms crossed. You know, are they open or closed to the discussion?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You want people to feel like you care about them and you like them, but also look like you have the power to be able to affect their lives. People want to be around people that have power and that can benefit them. So you want to showcase how you can do that for them. Even when making friends. I mean, I've really been paying attention. I wrote a lot of books. I studied psychology in school. I minored in sociology, and I have tons and tons of psychology books in the house. You should see my bookshelf. But one of the major things, even when making friends, is we're doing these power moves to show them, hey, I can benefit you. And we're always doing these things. I've seen people, you know, you see somebody take you out to lunch. They say, you know what, I'm going to buy you a coffee today. That's a power move. It shows that you want to contribute to that person's life. You have the means to buy them something and give them something. And you're going to spend time with them when you buy them that coffee. So that's also an indicator to them that you want to connect and you want to be of value. And that builds the relationship from there.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of times I think people, I mean, some people are just natural at this and other people have to work at it. But, you know, being in a relationship, either friendship or like with girlfriends or let's say you have a boyfriend or just work relationships, it takes work. I mean, you have to show up, you have to be able to communicate, and, you know, it's always asking about how they're doing, how, you know, what's going on, just kind of like how you're discussing with influence. It's that care portion. We got to care about the people we're connecting with.
Absolutely, especially in leadership. I mean, these tools are really essential for people who are in leadership roles or who want to move up as leaders in a company or wherever. I mean, the tools that you'll get when you start learning to master your body language and all of the other tools that are available there, they're tremendous. I mean, they'll move you up. They'll get people paying attention to you. They make you stand out, and they make you a power player at whatever level you want to play that game. I don't want to make it sound like this is all about being at the top. When people think of power, when people think of influence, they think of the highest of the high. They think Mahatma Gandhi, the President of the United States, Martin Luther King. That's the vision that people get when they think of the concepts of power or influence. But what I'm talking about is simply being able to master your personal environment and not being a slave to what happens to you. I feel like that was my inspiration really for my own transformation, is wanting to be in control of the perception other people had of me and just kind of living for what I felt at the moment, wasn't really getting me the perception I wanted. People were seeing me in a different light. So I had to learn to basically exert personal control over myself and my environment, and then I was able to get what I wanted a lot sooner. And it isn't unnatural. It's not something that I'm not faking anything. I don't feel like a phony. It's become a part of who I am. I just know now how to engage with people and how to show people that I care about them and that I can help them and that they should follow me along my path and do what I ask them, to do, because I can show them that it benefits them.
Well, and I think a lot of times influence can kind of get a little bit of a bad rap, because there's influence where, if we're talking in regards to Gandhi and Martin Luther King, we've got, and other great leaders as well, we've got people who are key influences because they are of a service. They start out being of service, and they had a prime mission that they were like, okay, I'm going to change things in this way, but it really was from a service perspective. And then, when we're talking about influence, let's say with people that we're working with or people that we are training for, like either marketing or how you train with, how to brand themselves and how to market themselves as well, it's really about you're giving them a path that you've taken that has worked for you, and you see consistent results in that. I think where influence gets a little bit of bad rap, because sometimes it can be confused with manipulation, which is no bueno. That's like, we don't do that. So it's really about, hey, I've got this path. Why don't you follow me along, because I've been there, I've done it, and this is even easier for me. It's going to be easy for you. Come on, let's go. Let's go have fun.
Yeah, I found this amazing person that I like to watch her on social media, and I bought her book. Her name is Wendy Lipton Dibner, and she gave the best articulation of what I'm talking about. She calls it impact. And I know a lot of people throw that word around, but she actually really clarified the term impact and what it really means. And when you think of the bad versions of influence, those are just people who they're trying to make people do things, and the impact is for themselves. Mm-hmm. But when you're influential in a positive sense, you are making an impact on other people's lives. You're transforming them. You're doing something that benefits them. And some people, they don't see what they do as being impactful. When you have, it might be a job that you go, okay, well, this is just my job. It's not that impactful. You need to be able to change your viewpoint and see what you're doing in terms of the impact it makes for other people. Really sit back and say, okay, what do people thank you for? What are people getting out of their exchanges with you? And that's your impact. That's why you need to continue to be more influential, so you can make that impact even more. Do more of that and help more people with it. Give yourself more opportunities to be seen in that way and to contribute your gifts. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to increase your influence so that you can make a greater impact.
Well, and you're 100% right. I mean, it's all about, then allowing us to show up in a bigger way and be of greater service, and for me, that's kind of what it all boils down to. It's like, as you're talking about impact, how can I make a difference? How can I make a positive impact? So, well, that's fascinating. Okay, so let's say, and I don't know if we've got quite enough time. We'll probably get started on this. We'll have to come back after break here in a little bit. But let's say that I've got 3 of the 4 keys of influence. I've got them down. But one of them, maybe I have a weak handshake, or maybe I'm not quite. Maybe I haven't quite honed in on one of the top keys. What is the easiest way for me to kind of switch things around and move forward?
So it sounds like you're referring to presence mostly. If you are having a tough time with, I would say if you're having a tough time with any of these things, just focus on the things that you can do most quickly. And I would say that, some of the presence items are the best to focus on, because the presence, like I said, is the most important. And just working on one simple thing. One simple exercise to work on your body language would be to just grab a friend and ask them to practice eye contact with you. Eye contact is huge. You don't even realize most people do not look other people in the eyes directly. They're looking at their nose, they're looking down, they're looking around a lot. So just taking a friend and saying, hey, can we practice eye contact for 2 minutes? It is the weirdest experience of all time. You will laugh, you will giggle. But the more you do that, you will really experience the difference in the interactions that you have with other people. But I would say just be easy on yourself and understand that it takes time to practice and hone in on these things, and just take a few that are easy for you to start implementing and just work on those, but never beat yourself up for missing something or not having something 100%.
Okay. Well, I believe we're going to pause here for a break. We've been talking with Krystal Covington. You can see her website at krystalcovington.com, and we'll be right back after this break.
In 2012, after returning home from Iraq and Afghanistan, Sean Gobin hiked over 2,000 miles of the Appalachian Trail. Recognizing the therapeutic effects of long-distance hiking, Sean founded Warrior Expeditions, a veteran nonprofit therapy program that supports veterans transitioning from their military service by hiking America's national scenic trails. Equipment and supplies are provided, as well as assistance with job placement. For more info or to help support these veterans, visit warriorexpeditions.org.
Are you ready for the quantum age?
Humanity's next step in evolution?
Dream Vision 7 Radio Network invites you to the extraordinary platform of evolutionary voices for the quantum age.
Let's explore. Learn more about this upcoming age, where we bridge science with spirituality.
Where potentiality meets reality.
Where we take compassion into action.
Our trailblazers and visionaries will ask the whys, the what-ifs, while igniting continuous possibility.
Come along with us into an age beyond what we know today, where we can grow together in unity consciousness.
Experience evolutionary voices for the quantum age, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern on DreamVision7Radio.com.
Ben Wexler is a gifted leadership development and strategy consultant for professionals who want to transform their organizations and careers. Through a uniquely personalized set of processes, participants discover their unique knowledge, how to leverage that knowledge and experience, and then put it all together with a global strategy. You're more valuable, your organization is more valuable, and the change is viral. Contact Ben at 630-881-1074. 630-881-1074.
It's a child's job to play, to learn, and to have fun. It's an adult's job to keep them safe. Did you know that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18? Every day, families enter the Children's Advocacy Center because a child's courage to tell someone what happened to them. Keeping our children safe starts with a conversation. This is Michelle Aranger, Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center. Learn more on how to keep your child safe. Visit cacofbc.org. This message made possible by the Fall River Rotary Club.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com. Are you an author looking for publicity for your book? If you're self-published or have worked through a traditional publisher, Marianne Pestana can help you get the media attention you require. Contact Marianne Pestana, literary publicist and host of Moments with Marianne, to create a winning plan of action. Marianne has helped authors become bestsellers and has received highly acclaimed media attention for her clients. Some of her work has received attention from ABC, NBC, CNN, CBS, Fox, and PBS, in addition to print and radio. She's a specialist in utilizing social media and her list of exclusive contacts to further the reach of your work. Contact MariannePestana.com to discuss the future of your work today.
Have you ever had the sense that your thoughts might actually be doing something? Ancient secrets of manifesting have been masterfully revealed in the award-winning book Manifesting 123 by Ken Elliott. For the first time, the author's experiences and stories in this book describe exactly how your thoughts can create anything. You've been doing this all your life, but it's never been fully explained for you until now. Visit manifesting123.com for more information today. Manifesting123.com.
Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. So we've been speaking with my very special guest, Krystal Covington, and before we get back in discussion here, just wanted to let you know of a great event that's happening out in the Boston area tomorrow. Jim Kosh, he's the co-founder of Boston Beer Company, and that's part of Samuel Adams is part of that. He is actually doing a book signing for his new book, Quench Your Own Thirst. And let's see, Quench Your Own Thirst. Oh, yeah, business lessons learned over a beer or two. Now, that sounds like a great book to get. So he's going to be having the book signing tomorrow between 6 and 8:30 p.m. on 30 Germania Street. And so drop by and purchase your signed copy. So, again, we've been talking with Krystal Covington. I'd like to welcome you back to the show, Krystal. And I know that you do a phenomenal job in regards to helping people position themselves online.
Yes, that's one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely, mostly, it's a lot of social media, a lot of video, positioning people online. It's important for both your entrepreneurial journey and if you have a corporate job. And that's one of the things that people often don't know about influence and in creating an online brand. People think that branding is for business, or when you're an artist, or if you're a high-level executive, maybe. But people don't often see branding as something that they should be focusing on themselves. So I definitely love to showcase to people the value of creating that brand for yourself.
Well, and that part, and I agree with you 100%, that part's so important because let's say, someone's, they've been in a job for like 10 years and they're going to transition someplace else. Having their own online presence, really to a point where it's really impactful will really serve them for years and years to come, because that's one of the first places that employers will go to look at to see, okay, now, this person says that they're, should have this senior VP job, but I'm looking at their online presence and, you're hearing crickets,
Yeah, it's huge for careers. At this point, I think the surveys are 60% of hiring HR recruiters will check your social media profiles before they give you a call. So if they don't match up, that's questionable. So having that consistent brand throughout everything that you're saying about yourself matters. Having a powerful brand, so looking like the job you want. So they're going to be looking at your photos, at the things that you have presented on your social media sites to see if they match up with the level of career that you're trying to get. So let's say you are looking to get a job in marketing. Do you look like a marketing person on your social media? Do you have one of the major things that somebody brought up to me once before I I hadn't really worked on my LinkedIn at one point, and somebody said, well, you don't have 500 plus. And how are you in marketing? I said, well, I've been in marketing for years. I've gotten lots of press. I've done a great job at the places that I've worked. Here's my letters of recommendation. They said, but why don't you have 500 plus? There's those little indicators that people are looking for that say, okay, this person is who they say they are. And you just have to make sure your social media and all the presentations that you have out there for yourself really do showcase that. And then, again, that visibility and consistency piece, making sure that you're out there, people are seeing you. People are out looking for, they're looking for what they need. And if they can't find you, then they're not going to find what they need. You're not serving people if they can't find you. So being able to be found online, being easily accessible is a very important step. I just interviewed a career coach recently for one of my programs, the art of impactful self-promotion. And one of the major things she said is making sure you're easy to find. So for her, she makes sure she's on all the major social media sites. She has a website that's got her name attached to it. People are able to find her in so many different places. It is hard to say, okay, I couldn't get in touch with you. Mm-hmm. So you want it to be easy for people to get in touch with you, and you want them to always have touches from you and be seeing you so that they remember that they need you when that thing comes up, that the problem that you solve comes up.
Yeah, either the service or the job or what have you. And I know that you do a really good job coupling that with using videos to really showcase your online presence.
Yes. So even in the earlier days, I've attached multimedia to job applications or when looking for clientele as far as being a freelancer, I've done the same. And one thing that people very rarely do is put those videos out there. And you want it to be concise and quick and just something that people can get to know who you are. But it's definitely a value. So let's say you're putting out your resume. I've seen a lot of interns start doing this because they're really getting into it in career centers at colleges lately. At some colleges, the career centers will do this for you. And if you're in school at this point, you could definitely go to the career center and ask if they can do this for you. Is just create a short resume that just says, hey, this is who I am. This is how I contribute in the corporate world. This is how I contribute to the bottom line for a business. And this is what it means for the business when I do that. I definitely would love to get to know you and your company. Please give me a call, and this is how you can reach me. And something like that will give people the understanding of exactly how you can contribute, what your value is, and why they should get in contact with you. And you make it easy for them to connect. There's a big connection that happens when you have videos out there that show people how you can add value. It's just like we talked about in the earlier segment of being able to give people eye contact, being able to make an emotional connection with someone and show people that you care about them and can contribute to them. And you do the same through video. And the biggest value of video is that it shows a little bit of body language there. People can get to perceive you. They can see your head. Hopefully they can see your hands in the video as well and see how you move, see the confidence that you have in your body, and they can feel that little bit of connection and see your value in that short clip.
That's good. Well, and that's so important, and I agree with you and really like how you talk about, hey, this is a value I can add to your bottom line, because I know, as a CEO and having worked with many CEOs and CFOs, that's what they want to hear. They want to hear how you're going to add value and to really, increase the company's production either one way or you're going to solve a problem. So coming, approaching resumes in that way and also approaching your online presence in that way really makes it easy for people to say, hey, this is the person I want to do business with or want to have working for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I also want to point out is the value piece is making sure that when you talk about yourself, online, offline, whenever, you should be able to, and I know some people call it the 30-second elevator speech, which makes it a little bit intimidating, but basically you should be able to articulate your value to people. How can you contribute to them? And you can say it different ways depending on the person that you're speaking with, but no matter what you're doing, whether you're an entrepreneur and you're selling yourself as a coach, a consultant, or you're selling a product, you want to make sure that you have that value lined up. So it should be one sentence, and it should be, I help, and you tell people how you help them. I help people like you to accomplish this thing, and this is the impact that it has on them when I help them accomplish that. And it's just a quick little something that you tell people that lets them know, gets right to the heart of exactly what problems you solve and how you can contribute to their life. And that's
probably the easiest way I've heard that explained, and that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
Great.
Because a lot of times people do go, gosh, what do I do? And, it's like War and Peace. It's like, no. It has to be something very short and quick. The people have left the elevator by the time that you're finished telling them what you do,
I've had a lot of people tell me, I can't go networking yet. And I say, well, why can't you go networking? I don't have my 30-second elevator speech down. I go, well, what do people normally say thank you to? When was the last time someone said thank you? And what was the contribution you made? And they can answer that in a second. And then I say, well, that's your value proposition. That's your 30-second elevator speech. Just tell people that. And they go, well, that was too easy. That can't be it.
Okay. Well, on that note, we're going to be right back with Krystal Covington. We're going to pause here for a quick break, and you want to join us for this next segment. We're going to have some more fun. We'll be right back.
In a single moment, your life can change. Join Marianne Pastana, host of Moments with Marianne, for a transformative hour of leaders in their field, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Tune in to experience Moments with Marianne every second Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, all part of the Dream Vision 7 radio network. Don't miss this. And remember, make every moment count.
Join the Mind Health Coach with Leah Marie every fourth Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Come explore with us natural and healthy ways to achieve inner peace, happiness, and an ever-present state of well-being. You're already healed. You just haven't realized it yet. When you're ready, you can change your mind and change your life forever. The power of a beautiful life is within you today. Mind Health Coach with Leah Marie is part of the Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition show every first and third Sunday, 9 to 10 p.m. Our message is love in the purest form. The light within us all is a guide to recall our beginning, to learn to love self and humankind, to feel the higher power of our own divinity. To attract love, one needs to be love. Every first and third Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m. All part of the Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Ben Wexler is a gifted leadership development and strategy consultant for professionals who want to transform their organizations and careers. Through a uniquely personalized set of processes, participants discover their unique knowledge, how to leverage that knowledge and experience, and then put it all together with a global strategy. You're more valuable, your organization is more valuable, and the change is viral. Contact Ben at 630-881-1074. 630-881-1074.
The pressure is on. Can you feel it? Life as we've known it is no longer working. Why? We are awakening. The true core self is alive within us now and has a new life to live. What does this mean? How do we live from here? Join us live every third Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern as spiritual embodiment coach and trainer Ambu Jam Rose explains this mass awakening. Ambu Jam's direct approach teaches you how to navigate this new wild ride, educates you on how to strengthen your spiritual core, and takes your calls for personal spiritual core training. This program is part of the Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Have you ever had the sense that your thoughts might actually be doing something? Ancient secrets of manifesting have been masterfully revealed in the award-winning book Manifesting 123 by Ken Elliott. For the first time, the author's experiences and stories in this book describe exactly how your thoughts can create anything. You've been doing this all your life, but it's never been fully explained for you until now. Visit manifesting123.com for more information today. Manifesting123.com.
Ask Dr. Love is now on the Dream Vision 7 radio network every second and fourth Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Dr. Jamie Turndorf, a.k.a. Ask Dr. Love, is a psychotherapist, author, love and relationship expert who offers advice and answers to your relationship questions. Hear about Dr. Love's groundbreaking new Dialoguing with the Departed technique that enables you to reconnect and make peace with a loved one. This show is for you, the listener, and Dr. Love wants to hear from you. Call 866-338-9663 or 617-237-1234.
Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. I'm here with Krystal Covington, and we've been having a great time talking about the 4 keys to influence and how to market yourself online. Now, Krystal, I know you are the connection expert. You have, been able to overcome hurdles of being an introvert, and even though that we all kind of stay that way inside sometimes if that's who we are, but you're just this networking queen. So what would be one of the things that you'd like to leave our listeners with here about, one key factor? Let's say they've got all 4 of the key influences down. What is one thing that they can go and do like tomorrow to be more proactive about getting themselves out there and connecting with other people?
Good question. The real key to connection is just going out there and finding opportunities to meet people that are like-minded. That's the easiest way to get out and start networking. So I would not encourage people to focus on those typical networking groups where everybody just kind of piles up in a room and is shaking hands with a glass in one hand and their hand out with a business card, because they're just not the place to find that real connection. And where you really find benefits in meeting new people is when you get the chance to really get to know them, have a connection where you know their likes and dislikes, you know a little bit about who they are as a person and how they contribute to the world. Those pile-in-a-room networking events just don't give you that. So you want to find opportunities. You like horse riding? Go horse riding. If you like going to workshops, go to workshops. Say hi to the people that are in the room with you. Those are the people that you need to start with. And those people will send you introductions to other people that can get you what you need. And the other thing is just being really clear and really honest with people about what you're looking to do. If you're looking to get information about your next step in life, tell people, hey, I'm looking to learn about blank. Do you have anybody in your Rolodex, your virtual Rolodex these days, that knows that? Can you hook us up with a conversation? I'd love to have coffee with someone like that. Well, and that clarity really gives people really helps people understand how to connect you and how to get you where you're trying to get.
Well, and that's important because, when people like and trust somebody, I know when I meet people and I like and trust them and they say, hey, I need a bookkeeper, or I'm looking for somebody that does coaching like this, or, whatever the case may be, a copywriter, I'll go through my Rolodex, or, which kind of most people might not know what it is, but I'll go through my phone and I'll find the perfect person, and I'll usually have quite a few recommendations going, why don't you contact this person, or this person? Because there are people that I've done business with, and I like and trust them as well. So I know that I'm developing a really great network of people who, would probably have a really good experience together.
Absolutely. Today, before I got on this show with you, I was actually sitting here going through, I have a huge stack of business cards from events that prior to starting Women of Denver, which is my community for women, that prior to starting that, I had just been going to networking events, the ones that I was describing that aren't great connectors, and I was just kind of collecting business cards, and I would just put them all in a stack in a room, people I knew I would never get in touch with. And I was actually just going through that batch, and I'm going to start a spreadsheet of all of them. I don't know what to do with them. I have all these people. I've met them, and I have no connection. And the people that have actually contributed to me, the people that I've had coffee with, the people that have traded with me as far as trading work or giving me free services or helps to connect me to other people. Those are the people that I give business to, and that is a very short list.
Yeah, mine started off short, but it's growing, So. But, I totally understand because I take recommendations so seriously because I want to make sure that the experience that plays out is a good one. Because the last thing I want to hear is someone coming back to me going, well, that webmaster you sent me to was awful. I'm like, oh, God, I don't want that. So, but
yes, people are trusting you.
Yeah, and having that connection where you meet people. I love meeting people. I mean, I'm just doing what I'm meant to do, because I love meeting people and finding out what kind of work they do, learning about their business. But you're right. I mean, if you got a stack of business cards and no one's taken, the opportunity to reach out to you and say, hey, thanks so much for connecting, and then moving forward, it's just a stack of business cards. I mean, it could be a fire starter,
Absolutely. It's funny, though, people often think that they've done something. They go to these events and they pass out their card to a bunch of people and they feel like they accomplished something that day. But they didn't. Yeah. They don't do the follow-up. They didn't make a real connection, so no one really knows why they should follow up with them or, want to engage with them again. So they're not being impactful. And you want to focus on impactful opportunities to network and connect with people. And that's how you get more influence, and that's how you get what you want.
Well, it's all dead-on advice, all of it, and there's a reason why I signed up for your networking, your connection group, the Women of Denver, which is pretty prominent here in the Denver area. For the folks that are out in Boston, I know you have people that actually fly out from other parts of the country to be part of your events out here.
Yeah, if there are people who are sometimes in the Denver area, there's definitely still an opportunity for them to come out and build relationships when they're here doing business. So either way, just having something that you can always come to, kind of like a home base, is great.
Sure. Well, in worst case scenario, you meet a bunch of great people and you make more friends. I mean, sounds like a win-win to me.
That's why I started it in the first place. I needed friends. I moved to a new place. I was from Michigan, and all my folks were back there. So I said, okay, I'm a little lonely. I need some girlfriends to chat up with every now and then.
Well, you definitely have a great group of people. I can see why they really flock around you and spend that time with you, and definitely in your group, the Women of Denver. So what other, because I think we have a few more minutes before we have to go, because I could talk to you all day long. I mean, you've got just really good information that I feel is very helpful to people. If I'm looking, how am I going to get out and start marketing myself? What are some things to consider? I mean, you've got amazing stuff that really puts people on the right track instead of off in the bushes, So what one thing would you like to leave for our listeners today?
focus on building a brand for yourself.
There you go.
When you build a very strong and powerful brand, people always come back to you for that value that you offer. It's strong, and they know they can trust you. It gets you more opportunities. It gets you the chance to make a greater impact. It builds you relationships. And just that branding is just so important no matter what you're trying to do in your life. It is important. It's not just for artists. It's not just for musicians. It's not just for executives. Everyone needs a brand. And it's not just in what you wear or the font that you're using on your personal website, but just being able to create everything that has to do with you should scream, this is my value and this is what I can contribute. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the way that it should always be approached. And I definitely, love to share lots of tips. So if anybody, if you want to look me up, I'm Krystal Covington, Krystal with a K. And you can go to my website to get free lessons. I always have opportunities for free lessons and webinars. I give most of what I do away for free just because I just love to make an impact and help other people, and it helps contribute to my brand. I want lots of people to know how I can help and the value that I offer.
Well, and you do offer quite a bit of value. I mean, and you're right about building the brand. That's so important. It's what do I stand in the world for, and the value you bring. And sometimes it's pretty easy to kind of narrow those things down and figure out exactly what it is, no matter what your job position is, what it is that you do and what you offer. So I know that you have. I know you have on your. I can't. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if it's on your KrystalCovington.com website or the WomenOfDenver.com website that you have videos, free videos.
If you visit theartofselfpromo.com, you can find video interviews that I've been doing with some of the top, some amazingly well-branded people. These are experts in lots of different fields, and I'm finding them all over the place. And so far, there are 3 up right now, and I have several in the bucket that are ready to launch. And these are expert interviews with people who are changing the world right now. And if you sign up there, you can get an email every time I have a new interview at theartofselfpromo.com. And those interviews will teach you everything you need to know about branding. These people are giving away their secrets, how they got great. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Krystal. I really appreciate you being on the show today.
I really appreciate being here. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I can't wait to see you again here in Denver.
Yeah, I can't wait either. I'd like to thank all of our listeners for tuning in today. And remember, make every moment count.
Join us next time for Moments with Marianne, when host Marianne Pestana brings another inspirational gifted leader to help us grow. Tune in every second Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Moments with Marianne, when the Dream Vision 7 radio network is at 1510 a.m. Boston. Or catch Moments with Marianne every Thursday and Friday at 5 p.m. and 5 a.m. Eastern Time by going to dreamvision7radio.com. To learn how Marianne started her business from the ground up, visit mariannepastana.com. Don't miss this. And remember, make every moment count.